I bet most of you, like me, are waiting for the results of the investigations involving Harry, from the visa issue to the Africa Park scandal. Obviously, now, every move of him and Meghan is directing public opinion in a different direction. Many newspapers even focused on attacking Catherine just because of one photo, ignoring the other brutal scandal. Fortunately, recently some newspapers have begun to attack this scandal again. Let us find out in this video, and welcome back to the Royal News 365 channel, my friends. You and I are constantly repeating the story of the cruelty committed by the Rangers of Africa Park against the Baka people. I just called out the mainstream media the other day for not covering this story. I'm glad to see this starting to make a comeback in the headlines. Here is what I'd like to see next. I would like the media to call the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and demand them to explain their complete silence and inaction on these atrocities while touting themselves as humanitarians on their newly rebranded website. Then call out this hypocrisy and demand they explain themselves. Demand Harry tell you how they are going to fix this moving forward, how they're going to hold the Rangers accountable, and how they are going to get justice for the Indigenous people. I believe he has a lot to say. All of this, plus why did he do nothing when the story has been out for months and God knows how long this has been going on. However, organizations like these need to be closely monitored. I believe that the above needs to be monitored so that charity money is not used for the wrong purpose. Below also needs to be monitored to avoid repeating the sad situations that Baka people have to endure. When looking for this news, I scrolled through the DM. I'll call it short like that, hope you can guess what I mean. At first, I was quite happy that this website was finally contributing to Harry and Meghan's escape plan. When I was about to leave a comment, I discovered there were extremely few comments. I dare to bet you Harry's topic cannot have few comments. The body of the article shows Harry quite a few times with his name in the caption, just to make sure that we know he is the director. 3x to be exact. To prove my thoughts, I commented, yet know their game of letting you believe you did, yet it's hidden. Then it will be shelved due to lack of interest. I am very skeptical about the credibility of some newspapers. What are they thinking when they ignore this scandal? Media has more important things to do. Like dissecting the photos of Catherine. Look at them, pouring their hearts out to examine every photo that Kensington Palace released. It's so upsetting how Harry isn't doing anything about this, and the people in the African parks don't deserve to be treated so badly. Harry needs to quit his job as a director because it's obvious that he isn't paying attention to the atrocities going on. He is too busy skiing and flying in private jets. In their mind, I mean Sussex couple and those who support them, this just is poor people's problems beneath his notice. Skiing and jet hopping are rich people's problems and worthy of concern. Notice how, only yesterday and for the Diana Award, the honorees had their presentation from Prince William and their dinner, and then got taken to a different location, a hotel where they had to wait in a small conference room until 1:00 for him to speak via Zoom or some such app. Turns out he was skiing in Aspen. I can't believe those people actually waited around for that Zoom with the twant. I'd have carried my ass, no doubt about it. Rather like Invictus, I hope the organizers will be asking themselves whether waiting around for that long in a small conference room was the right and reasonable thing to expect these young people to do. Harry should be forced to do the difficult work to remedy the mess he enabled, which he should have no difficulty doing being so familiar with court proceedings, or be made to suffer the indignity and reputational damage of a public announcement that he was fired as a result of his incompetence and inaction. I think that Meghan and Harry got wind of this earlier, hence why they've used Catherine and the failed launch of Meghan's business to be a distraction. They ignore the rumors there are no kids. They're separated, the racists claim. They think they can get away with everything. Not to deflect from this very important topic, which is well overdue for media attention, yet if the media are now into issuing calls for proof of life appearances, how about it for the UK's newest princes and princesses? I don't understand how there can be titles in use when there have been no official palace photographs of either putative child released. Imagine, if you will, that Beatrice and Eugenie were born and titled princesses. Then no official photographs of them were released by the palace in all the time between the eldest's birth and their school start date. Drawing near the media would have been beside themselves. They suck so bad as human beings. Harry is still wrapped up in his mommy trauma, and Meghan is a complete whack job. Harry wants to scream that his mummy was murdered. However, here we have kids whose moms were tortured, raped, and murdered. What does that narcissistic little think about that? Harry whines about being born a prince. It's all so hard, yet he only ever addresses anything as a spoilt brat. When has he ever got down to the level of ordinary? Never. Instead, he has fetishized a clean, sanitized version of Africa. That doesn't exist, and that ignores all the complicated issues with the nebulous, moving barriers of a society that doesn't work to Western rules. And nor should it. Africa, as it is in his mind, doesn't exist, of course. It doesn't. He's almost the epitome of the worst white savior yet, at least back in the olden days. Even the problem younger sons were educated. As for the Baka, they are not the people who need to give concessions here. From their point of view, their natural hunting land has been taken over, and previously non-existent boundaries were violently enforced. Boundaries that don't exist in their world, yet all these people have come in and decided for them. Headed by a bloke who was quite happy to kill on safari just for the pleasure of it. So they can't kill to eat because he and his fellow white saviors have set themselves up for a nice little safari. That will probably involve culling at some point because it becomes necessary when you've interfered with natural cycles. And they wonder why people of color distrust them. The Sussexes will continue to sweep this inconvenient, horrific scandal under the carpet. I think they only care about black people in America for zero effort, poor point-scoring photo opportunities, and black one-percenters with far bigger ties or success in a list Hollywood that they can use to their brand-building advantage. Harry doesn't know how to do much of anything. His life is almost continuous playtime, occasionally interrupted by formal events where he feigns an adult demeanor. Diana coddled him, Charles coddled and protected him, and William protected him. His schools and the army did what they could with and for him, yet should never have been admitted to Eton and Sandhurst. Archewell had a lot of expectations, yet now it's really nothing more than a mess. Now, when mentioning Archewell, people still remember a few negative signals. The Africa Park scandal does not respond to requests for financials, inadequate governance and transparency, and the griftering tool of the grifter duo. The issue of scandal and transparency of a charity fund is serious, yet this issue seems a lot more important than photoshopped pictures. In my opinion, this fund is loosely regulated and is a fat income source for one of the founders. Archewell doesn't do much more than distribute contributions and grants to other nonprofits that catch the fancy of Harry and Meghan, and provides income or contracts to a few of their BFs. Africa Park scandal, lying on visa application. Where is the media uproar over them? They have the time and resources to scour every pixel in a Mother's Day photo, yet legitimate, shady charities are crickets. The Internal Revenue Service rules are in place because charities are an easy way to game the system. If the Sussex couple got paid for their Oprah interview with a donation to the charity, Oprah gets a write-off, and what is essentially Harkle income is not taxed. They flit around to events they want to take credit for, trying to appear royal, and expense their travel, food, clothing, hiring paps, or whatever else they can get away with, so it's not income and cannot be taxed. They seem to be doing it with Ingriftus and have been basking in the Archewell scam for 3+ years now. Can't wait for their 990S. Archewell Foundation is subject to US regulations and reporting requirements. So far, it has filed its 990S very late and has never publicly released its audited financial statements. On its website, it did, and may still do, state that the audited financial statements will be supplied on request. I think that it would have been Meghan's scheming that orchestrated this. Harry's too stupid to conceive of or execute anything this complex. Harry and Meghan fancy themselves puppet masters, yet they keep dropping the strings. The two of them bribed newspapers to mislead public opinion. They're just a pair of nitwits trying to be some weird blend of influencer and celebrity, yet they don't realize you have to be a lot more interesting or a lot more accomplished. They're just D-list. That brings us to the end of my video. Hope you agree with my point of view. If not, please comment so we can discuss it. Don't forget to like and share the video so YouTube can recommend similar videos. And if you want to receive notifications about the latest videos, please subscribe. We will be back soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.